What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to the first video of quarantine. The poker rooms in the Northeast have actually been pretty slow in opening up, but we're here in Boston Billiards right outside in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's a really cool spot, actually. We've been here before, but I'm here because one, they're open, two, I can record some table footage, and three, there's also a bunch of outdoor patio spaces, a bunch of pool tables, and obviously the poker room that's open. So today we're playing six-handed. There are 4 tables running, and I can't wait to get started. So for the past few months, this time off has really allowed me to kind of think about where I want to take this channel. So one of the things I really want to focus on is making better quality videos. So kind of putting a lot more emphasis on table footage and just posting more better videos versus posting a ton of videos every single week. So moving forward, you'll see a lot more table footage from me in the majority of the videos posted. And last thing, I want to do a little bit of a giveaway, I guess. I have a bunch of these small little Rampage poker blue chips that I'll post on the screen right there. So leave a like on this video, comment down below, and I'll choose one random winner after every single video, and I'll deliver that out to you guys. I have a bunch of those little Rampage poker chips, so one little way just to give back, show some support. Lastly, small and locals businesses have been hurting during this time with the quarantine, so I want to give a huge shout out to Silver Screen Design, located in Western Massachusetts, for printing these awesome Rampage poker shirts. If you want to check it out, definitely click the link down below. Also, if you want to get some custom shirts made for yourself, contact Jamie. I'll leave his email down below. That's all the talking I have for now. Let's go ahead and get in, hop in on the action, and start playing some poker. We get seated and we hop into the 1-2 game, buying in for the max of $300. So one of the very first hands we pick up is pocket 10s here, 6-handed with an under the gun straddle, which is always fun. I open up the action pre-flop to $15, and we get 2 callers, the big blind and under the gun straddler. So we're going to a flop 3 ways in position. The flop comes 7, 7, 9, 2 spades with our overpair and some backdoor draws. I go ahead and c-bet $25 when it checks to us, and only the straddler makes the call. He covers us. He looks like he has a pretty decent sized stack, so we're gonna see what happens. Go to a turn. Turn comes the 8 of diamonds, so that really improves us. Not only do we have an overpair, but also an open-ended straight draw. We can definitely get some value from hands like 9, 8 that could have improved as well. So when he checks to us, I'm going to be sizing up on the larger side here to $75. He thinks about it and decides to make the call. We're off to a river. The river is a jack, so it does complete our straight. And weird enough here, he actually leads out into us for $100. I have somewhere around $225 in front of us, so obviously folding is out of the question. It's whether we just want to call it off or we stick our whole stack in there. If we do jam, I think we're going to be chopping a lot of the time, even though I do double block at the straight. But I think that I could be owned by a few full houses here that could be in his range playing 6-handed. So at the end of the day, pretty new to this, obviously not folding, and I really want to just rip it in there for fun first 5 minutes into the session. So I jam. He snaps us off immediately with Queen 10 offsuit for the nut straight. So nice warm welcome to live poker. 5 minutes in, right when we sit down, we get stacked. We buy back in for 300, and very shortly we pick up 8-4 offsuit in the big blind premium hand here. We're playing 5-handed, and there's an under the gun straddle. Action folds to me, so now here in the big blind, I'm going to open up the action to $20. The straddler snap calls, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to a flop. The flop comes 10-8-4 2 hearts. What a beautiful board for playing 8-4 offsuit here, 5-handed. Here out of position, I am going to be betting $40 here, pretty big, betting pot essentially. He quickly makes the call with only about $80-ish behind. The turn comes in 8, and considering how short he is, sometimes I can check just to trap and hope that he can get there, but let's just go for it right now and try to just get all the money in. So I jam, and he folds pretty quickly. Unfortunately, if you're going to play 8-4, you're going to want to flop and turn full houses. Next hand, we have pocket 8s in the big blind, playing 4-handed, and also with the under the gun straddle, which is always a good time. There's an open to $15. I decide to 3-bet out of position here with a pair to $55. The under the gun straddler jams his whole stack in for $140. The original razor folds, actions onto me, and we're playing 4-handed. The straddler really must have picked up a really good hand, but with pocket eights, I just can't really fold for only $84 more. So I decided to just toss in a chip and decide to hopefully see that we're flipping. So I call, and we're going heads up to a run out. The flop comes 8 high, which is awesome. I flip my cards over immediately. I'm not sure what the board was, but he's not happy about that. He says that we sucked out, but I'm happy to take this one down and have some positive variance go my way. The next interesting spot here, we have ace-10 offsuit in the big blind, playing four-handed, and the button opens up the action to $12. The small blind makes the call, and here I think I should really be 3-betting more often than not here, especially since I think the button can be opening really loose and really wide. But as played, I decided to just call here, and I'm still fairly early on into the session and just trying to get a feel for things. So I call. We're going 3 ways to a pretty good flop of ace-10-8, 2 hearts. Flopping top 2 on a pretty wet board here. The small blind checks. I decide to check, hoping to check raise, knowing that the button will definitely c-bet a large majority of the time. And he does oblige with a c-bet of $27. The small blind folds and gets out of there, and here obviously going to be raising. I choose a sizing of $85, a little bit on the larger side since we're out of position. He thinks about it and makes the call. We're going to a turn. We're both pretty deep right now at this point, and I'm trying to get as much of the money in the middle on a blank turn. The turn comes the 5 of clubs, bringing in the backdoor club draw as well. So he covers me, like I said, and we've got some pretty big stacks here. I go with a sizing of $165. He thinks about this raise, and here while he's thinking, I think that if he's going to be just calling or jamming or something, I'm just going to have to go with it. We're playing four-handed. I flop top 2. There's no way I'm ever folding my hand on this board here. So he thinks, and he does put in the jam. He covers us. I snap call this jam. The river is a total blank, not a heart, not a club. He shows his hand. He has 8-7 of clubs, so he turned the flush draw as well. And we take a huge one, sitting at almost $1,000 in front of us. The next hand, we have king 8 offsuit, playing four-handed, and obviously going to have to widen my range a ton. So here with a king, a decent king, I open up the action to $10, and we get one caller in the big blind, the same player from last hand, and we're off to a flop. The flop comes ace-10-8, 2 spades out there. With bottom pair, any pair, it's pretty hard to make pairs playing four-handed here, so I decided to go for a small bet of $8 here, trying to extract any sort of value from him. He makes the call for $8, and we're off to a turn. The turn is a pretty good card. It's an ace, so even less likely that he could be having ace right now, and I think a pair of 8s could be good. He checks to us once again, and definitely feeling like I'm ahead. I throw out another small sizing bet of $15. He decides to make the call, and once again to a river. The river's a 6. He checks to me for a 3rd time, and I think about maybe trying to extract some sort of value on the river, but I'm pretty happy with the showdown value I have with a pair of 8s right now, and realistically, I'm getting called by like Jack 8 or something stupid like that. So regardless, we're just going to check it back, and he shows Queen 9. We take this one down. It's these really small pots that you're going to have to win, and just going for value, so just wanted to throw this one in there. A little while later, our stack has chipped down just a little bit by trying to bluff, but playing four-handed always going to be high variance. In this spot here, I have pocket 5s, four-handed, and there's a straddle, and I'm on the buttons, so I'm first to act here. I open up the action to $15, and it folds to the straddler, the same player that we've been playing with this whole time, and he says...
Just sick of folding, you know?
So when he says this, I think he's telling the truth, saying that he has a weak hand. I don't think he's necessarily lying here in this spot, so we're going to see what happens here with the information given. Flop comes 7, 3, 4, 2 spades, so with pocket 5s, it's a pretty good flop overall. He checks to me, and definitely going to be betting here just to protect my hand. I bet $20, and he thinks about it and makes the call. The turn is a 10, not a spade, and when he checks to me here, I think I just got to check it back. So we check it back, and we're going to a river. The river is the 4 of diamonds. It's really not a good card for us, and also another awful situation. He leads out and bets $40. The line here doesn't make a lot of sense. I think he's really just repping a 4 at this point if he was going for value, which definitely could make sense for him to have a 4 here. I haven't seen him bluff any rivers since I've sat down, so pretty hard to think that he's bluffing in this spot. But at the end of the day, I just don't think this line makes a lot of sense, and he's really only repping a 4. So I decided to make a crying call. He says good call. He shows us king 6. So we make a good call with pocket 5s here and take this pot down. The next hand, we have queen 7 of clubs with the straddle out there. With queen 7, it might be a little too wide playing 5-handed or 6-handed, but I open up the action to $15, and once again, only the straddler calls. So we're going to a flop heads up. The flop comes king 9 6 rainbow. Checks to us, and here just going to be c-betting $15, and he makes the call. Turn is a pretty good card for us. It's the 5 of clubs. Here we improve to our gut shot straight draw along with a flush draw as well. So I'm trying to size up just a little bit, and I bet $40. He makes the call pretty quickly, so I'm thinking he's got a 1 pair holding. Definitely not a hand strong enough to raise. So if we miss, we might just have to bet pretty big and hopefully get him off of some sort of 1 pair holding. In the river comes a jack. He checks to us once again, and with queen high, no showdown value, I think this is a spot where I just have to go for it. We're playing short-handed, and I think I can get a pair of 9s or something to fold pretty easily. So I bet $115. He snap calls us with king 3. Had me crushed all the way, and we punt off some money to him this time. The next hand, we have king 9 of clubs in the small blind, and there's a $6 open from a guy who has really big bet sizing tells. Pre-flop wise, he bet $6 when he has a pretty weak hand. So I'm here assuming he's got a weak hand this time. There's 1 caller from the same guy that I've been battling with, and actions onto me. Here with king 9 of clubs, I decided to 3-bet to $25. Probably could have gone a little bit larger since we're out of position, and with also a call in there, but the pre-flop raiser folds, and the guy I've been battling with all day, he decides to call. We're going to a flop heads up, out of position. Flop comes ace 10 9, 2 hearts out there. With bottom pair, I think I could probably c-bet and just get him off his hand. But I decided to just check here with some showdown. He can bluff sometimes, as seen before, so maybe trying to induce a bluff here, but action goes check, check. The turn is the 6 of hearts, so the flush does get there, but seems pretty unlikely since he did check the flop. I decided to check here with a pair of 9s. He bets $40, and like I said, I really don't believe his story here. I think a 10 would definitely bet the flop. Some sort of flush draw would bet the flop. So I decided to make the call, not believing him. He has a ton of 1 heart holdings that he could have here. So I call with a pair of 9s, and we're going to a river. The river is the queen of hearts. So now 4 hearts on there, and here I can probably turn my bottom pair essentially into a bluff. But considering he bet the turn, it seems like he could have a ton of heart draws out there. So I decided to not bluff and check. He checks it back pretty quickly. I show my pair of 9s, and we are beat by queen 5 of diamonds. Unfortunately, rivered us there. The following hand, we have ace 9 of clubs, playing 6-handed now, and with about $650 in our stack, we have chipped down significantly. The button, same player that we've been playing against, opens up the action to $12. The small blind makes the call, and I decide to 3-bet here with a suited ace to $40. Only the button makes the call, and we're going heads up to a flop against the same player. We're trying to battle it out for like the 6th, 7th, 8th time, whatever it may be. So the flop comes ace 4 5 2 clubs. What a perfect flop for us. Here, I decide to bet small because I really don't think there's a point in betting too large. We kind of want to keep them in and just extract max value. And if we bet super large, I think we only get called by hands that beat us, like ace 10 plus. So I bet a sizing of $35. He decides to make the call, and we're going to a turn. The turn comes the 4 of diamonds, brings in a backdoor flush draw, and I'm really unsure of this action and bet sizing here right now. Really rusty from not playing too much poker during this quarantine, so here I just decided to once again bet really small. He could have some 4s in his range, he could have some diamond draws. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I wanted to go for value from a wide part of his range, so I make the $45 bet. He decides to call once again, and we're off to a river. The river is the king of diamonds, so not only does the backdoor flush draw get there, but also I chop with any ace. I'm once again really unsure of what to do. I could try to get some value from, I don't know, king high club draw, but I check, he snap checks it back, and I show my hand and we're good. So I'm not really sure if I missed some value on the river here or if I should have bet bigger on the flop and turn. I'm okay with this line and the sizing, but let me know what you guys think about this one. After that, we pick up another suited ace hand, 8-6 of hearts with a straddle out there. I open up the action pre-flop to $15 and we get 2 callers, the big blind and the straddler. Off to a flop, 3 ways. Flop comes 9-8-4, 2 diamonds out there. And here, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I really should be checking this multi-way, but here I decide to c-bet $25 with absolutely nothing going for me right now. I think I really should be just checking this, especially multi-way. But for some reason, I decided to c-bet. We really want to win this. I'm not really sure, but of course, you guessed it, the big blind makes the call, the same player that we've been battling against with. So we're off to a turn. The turn comes the 10 of clubs, brings in a backdoor club draw as well. So when he checks to me, I think I can just check this one back. Really just try to take this to showdown, kind of give up here. So we check it back and we're going to a river. The river is the 10 of diamonds and he checks to us once again. This spot here, I think I just have to bet to bluff on. Obviously, our ace high is no good. And I can get a pair of 8s or 4s to easily fold here. So I go with a larger sizing of $75. He doesn't look too comfortable with this situation, but ultimately he decides to make the good call with Jack 9. So flop top pair and made a good call on the river there. Our bluff this time, once again, doesn't work. Once again in this spot, we pick up a suited ace in ace 8 of spades in the big blind, playing 6-handed. We have a middle position player who opens it up to $12. The button makes the call, and here actions onto me, out of position once again. Let's 3-bet once again to $45. Only the middle position player makes the call, and we're off to a flop heads up. The flop comes 7-6 deuce rainbow, and here I think I just have a really clear c-bet. I have some backdoor opportunities, and obviously I can rep all the over pairs. So I c-bet a sizing of $35, pretty small to be honest. I don't think I like this $35 looking back on it, but that's the sizing I went with. He decides to make the call for 35, and we're off to a turn. The turn comes the 6 of spades, so once again giving us additional equity with our nut flush draw. Having improved our hand, I'm going to go with the larger sizing, hopefully to just blow him off the pot. I bet $135. He very quickly sticks his entire stack in there for only $85 more.
How much more is that?
We have unfortunately put ourselves in a spot where we're probably going to lose a high majority of the time. And obviously I can't fold for only $85 more after putting so much in. So with our flush draw, I don't even think our ace would be good if it hits. I can't fold, so I decide to make the call. The river is the 5 of clubs, so we do improve on the river to open-ended, but we are no good since we're up against 8-6 of hearts. So he turned trips. It was the perfect turn card for both of us. Nice hand, Nove, who watches the channel. It was really nice playing with you. So this wraps up our little first vlog. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I played for about 4 hours. I got absolutely crushed. Got stacked literally the second hand I played, which was like 3 minutes into sitting down. So I was in the game for $600 because 300 was the max, and I am out for $208. So a nice whopping minus $100 session per hour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A lot more coming soon, probably at least once a week with table footage. That's the goal. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there, and leave a like, comment down below. Like I said, I'm going to be giving away one of those Rampage poker chips to one person per video. So yeah, you'll hear from me if you are the winner, and that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.